Today's Sunshine Note is titled, An Idea That Worked. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. James chapter 1 verse 5. Where do I begin? Terry asked himself. The odds were not in his favor. It was one young man against the beginning of a forest fire. But Terry was not alone, and he knew it. He kept his head about him and surveyed the situation. The greatest threat was the flames that were climbing a 12-foot-tall white fir tree whose branches were low enough to catch on fire. If those flames continued to climb, nearby trees would catch fire too. It is called a crown fire because the fire jumps from tree to tree ahead of the fire on the ground. A story he had heard too many times flashed through his mind. The infamous Big Lake airstrip fire had burned more than 4,000 acres. Because Terry had left camp in a hurry, he did not have any firefighting equipment. I did the only thing that was left to do, he later told me. I found all the burning branches of that tree that were within arm's reach. One by one, I circled my fingers around the branches and began running my hands out to the ends of each branch, hoping to put out the fire. It worked, and I ran my hands so fast that I did not get burned. Next, Terry turned his attention to the ground. The fire was spreading, and the flames were dangerously close to other smaller trees. He had on thick leather boots that day, so he began making a narrow fire break around the flaming area and pulling pine needles away from low-hanging trees. Just then, he heard a welcoming voice booming through the woods. "Terry!" It was Bruce's voice. He had returned with a crew of Big Lake staff workers with shovels and tools in hand. Within a half hour, the fire was completely out. Why do you think Kevin saw that smoke? Why do you think the Forest Service pilot spotted Terry's orange shirt? Why do you think God impressed Terry with just the right thing to do? We all believed it was for the kids, because God loves kids. He wanted to protect Big Lake Youth Camp so that through the years, thousands might come to know Him better. As Terry said, we were all exhausted by the end of that day, but we were thankful for a Creator God who enjoys summer camp with His kids. If you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. James chapter 1 verse 5. May God bless you today.